Okay friends, let's see cross-linking. The ultimate force in intermolecular bonding is of course covalent cross-linking between polymer molecules. Such cross-links are just as this diagram shows a schematic representation of cross-linked three-dimensional polymer network. So cross-linking basically done in the molecules like phenol formaldehyde, strong as the similar covalent bonds holding the molecule together. So such crosslinks are just strong as the similar covalent bonds holding the molecules together and thus convert a number of linear molecules into one large three-dimensional molecule. Okay, so they are strong as similar as covalent bonds holding the molecules together and thus convert a number of linear molecules into one large three-dimensional molecule. Primary covalent homopolymer bonds are 1 angstrom to 2 angstrom in length and 60 to 100 kilocalories per mole in strength, and thus much more powerful than any of the lesser intermolecular bonding forces considered earlier. So cross-linking has a number of effects upon properties which are quite general and independent of the level of cross-linking. So cross-linking has a number of effects upon properties which are quite general and independent of the level of cross-linking. Other properties depends very much upon the exact level of cross-linking which exists. Three distinct levels of cross-linking may be identified and have distinctly different effects upon the many properties. Number one, liable transient cross-linking tend to open and close again under the influence of mechanical, thermal or chemical stress. Then light cross-linking joins the molecules together sufficiently to prevent them from flowing completely past each other, but not enough to restrict the motion of large segments within the polymer. Heavy cross-linking joins the molecules together so at so many points that even the motion of small segments is quite restricted. The effects of cross-linking on properties are best examined by considering the effects of cross-linking in general and then the effects of each different level of cross-linking individually. So three types of cross-linking are the heavy cross-linking where even the small motion of the segment is restricted. Then there is light cross-linking where molecules are held together but they are not strong enough to restrict the motion of large segments. And one is the liable cross-linking, liable transient cross-linking. This tends to open and close again under influence of stress. So three types are liable, transient cross-linking, which opens and closes on application of stress. Then light one, where large segments can move within the polymer molecule, and heavy cross-linking, it is very restricted. Even small segments cannot. So these 3 points you should remember. Then effects of cross-linking on properties are of two types. Number one, just because of cross-linking, that is a general cross-linking and its effects. And then second one is level of cross-linking, means properties will be affected by the level of cross-linking. So first let us see cross-linking in general. The formation of strong primary homopolymer covalent bonds between polymer molecules converts them into large three-dimensional cross-link networks and pulls the molecular chain closer together, leaving less free volume, which restricts the mobility and thus generally produces harder polymers, harder problems. So the formation of strong primary homopolymer covalent bonds between the polymer molecules converts them into large three-dimensional cross-link networks. So you know large three-dimensional cross-link networks are being formed because of cross-linking, as in case of that phenol formaldehyde, and pulls the molecular chain together because cross-linking will be there, then the molecules will come closer, leaving less free volume. There will be less free volume, which restricts the mobility and thus generally produces harder properties. So mobility will be reduced and you will get a harder properties of the polymer. Processability. The formation of cross-linking between polymer molecules is the primary basis for dividing polymers into two general classes: thermoplastics, which remains linear during processing, and thermosetting, which become cross-linked during processing. So you should be always remember that thermoplastic are the polymers which can be shaped and reshaped again on application of heat, and thermoplastic which are once formed cannot be reshaped again. Okay. Thermosetting, sorry. So thermoplastic can be shaped and reshaped again on application of heat, and thermosetting cannot be shaped and reshaped again on application of heat because once they are formed, they take a permanent shape. So why is it so? Thermoplastics are linear during processing. This is the reason for it. And thermosetting are cross-linked during processing. So remember these two things, okay? Thermoplastic, linear, thermosetting, cross-linked. Thermoplastic polymers are chemically stable and may be stored, processed, and used without change in their primary bond structure. So I can store the thermoplastic, okay? Thermosetting polymers are chemically reactive, okay, to permit the formation of crossing during processing. Storage of such chemically reactive polymers before processing often involves problems of shelf life caused by the tendency to crossing prematurely during shelf aging before processing. So even if you store them, then there is a problem that they will start cross-linking because they are chemically reactive. They are not stable like thermoplastics. During processing, the polymer should remain linear long enough to flow into the desired final form, but they should then cross-link rapidly and completely into the final chemically stable form, making them insoluble and infusible and preventing further viscous flow. These are conflicting demands upon the chemical reactivity of thermosetting polymers. They are met fairly well in commercial materials, but processors will continually desire better balance of premature stability versus high ultimate reactivity. Continuing research and development efforts by raw material producers and formulators are making constant progress in improving this balance. So there should be a balance, you know. First they should be linear, and then once they are in the final shape and form, they should cross-link very fast so that they become infusible and insoluble. Yeah. Okay. Mechanical properties. In general, the introduction of cross-link between polymer molecules reduces the mobility and thus increases their modulus. And you know what is modulus, right? Stress upon strain. In synthetic fibers, for example, this also gives higher hardness and better hand recovery and wrinkle resistance. So synthetic fibers, this is very good. Cross-linking generally affects larger molecule deformations such as tensile strength. So larger molecular deformations like tensile strengths are affected by cross-linking. But greater interaction between other effects may make the ultimate result unpredictable. Because it reduces elongation, cross-linking also often reduces cyclic stress fatigue life. So because the material becomes so hard, you know, because of cross-linking, that the elongation is reduced. Long-term modulus of polymer is directly proportional to the density of cross-link between their molecules. So long-term modulus of polymers is directly proportional to the density of cross-link. So more the density of cross-link, more will be the modulus. Above the glass transition temperature, cross-linking reduces creep very dramatically. So what is creep? Creep is the tendency of a solid material to move slowly or deform permanently under the influence of persistent mechanical stresses. It can also occur as a result of long-term exposure to high levels of stress that are still below the yield strength of the material. Okay, so below Tg, creep stress. What are you saying? Above the Tg, cross-linking reduces creep very dramatically. So once you are above Tg, cross-linking reduces creep. Means the material cannot flow under the stress, persistent mechanical stress. So modulus is defined as the ratio of stress to strain. It is used to predict elongation or compression of an object as long as the stress is less than the yield strength of the material. Okay, tensile modulus. Effect of molecular weight and cross-linking upon creep. So this is the creep tendency of a material to flow under persistent stress, and this is time in x-axis. So the A means as the time increases, the creep increases very dramatically. Is a low molecular weight linear polymer. It is a high molecular weight linear polymer is C. This one. Loose network polymer is B. Tight network polymer F. Tight network means cross-linking. Therefore, it is creep is not that creep is significantly reduced in case of cross. These examples are typically of the way in which cross-linking reduces molecular mobility and thus hardens practical mechanical properties in general. Then thermal properties. MTC, you have to just concentrate on these three properties. MTC, mechanical, thermal, and chemical. Thermal properties. Glass transition temperature. Cross-linking polymer chains pulls them together, decreasing the free volume between them, reducing segmental motion, and thus raising the glass transition temperature. You know, harder the material, more the glass transition temperature. Okay. This effect has been quite generally observed and has been expressed mathematically in various ways. For example, Tg is equals to Tg plus Kz rho, where Tg is and Tg are glass transition temperature of cross-linked and linear polymer. Okay, so Tgc is cross-linked, Tg of crossing polymer, Tg is the crossing of linear polymer, Tg of linear polymer. Kz is the constant and rho is the number of cross-links. So these are some mathematical expression derived. The stable covalent bonds by which cross-linking reduces segmental and molecular mobility are thermally stable and insensitive up to a quite high temperature. So this is the modulus versus temperature curve. The stable covalent bonds by which cross-linking reduces segmental and molecular mobility are thermally stable and insensitive up to a quite high temperature. Thus, they have a profound effect upon the entire modulus versus temperature curve. They not only raise the Tg and the modulus above the Tg, but also affect large molecular deformation involved in viscous flow, making the polymer quite infusible. So sulfur cross-linking of heavier rubber effect upon Tg. So this is the hard phase, this is the soft phase. The graph. Infusible means not be able to melt or fused. Coefficient of thermal expansion. It has already been observed that cross-linking draws the polymer molecules closer together and reduces remaining free volume between them. Thus in turn reduces the coefficient of thermal expansion. So coefficient of thermal expansion is also reduced because of cross-linking. So this is the effect of molecular weight and cross-linking upon creep of butyl rubbers. This is creep in inches square per pound. This is the time in minutes, and A, B, C, D are A uncross-linked molecular weight. So if it is uncross-linking, then with time the creep will increase very rapidly. And then B uncross-linked molecular weight are slightly higher, 4,80,000. Then also it will increase very rapidly creep. But C, D, E are increasing degree of cross-linking. So once the cross-linking starts playing a major role, then you can see that the creep is not being increased that much. So this is what I'm trying to explain. Tg minus Tg0 equals to 3.9 10 to the power 4 per mn, where Tg and Tg infinity are the glass transition temperature of cross-linked and linear polymer. So Tg0 is linear polymer, Tg of linear polymer. This is the Tg of cross-linked polymer, and this is the molecular weight, I think so. So it's not necessary to go into that much detail, but you should know this creep versus time graphs. It is a part of the mechanical property. Then in thermal property, you should remember that how the modulus and temperature curve is and how the coefficient of thermal expansion reduces with the increase in cross-linking. Chemical properties. Permanent primary covalent cross-linking between polymer molecules are a much stronger force than polarity and solubility parameter, making polymers completely insoluble in common solids. Obviously, if there is more cross-linking, that polymer won't be soluble in common solvents, right? And thus producing gelation when cross-linking forms. Cross-linking is an important factor in producing chemically resistant thermoset plastics and elastomers, which are resistant to fuel and oil. Cross-linking in fibers is important in producing moisture-resistant wrinkle resistance. So if you want fibers which are moisture resistant, wrinkle resistance, cross-linking is important. Okay, and if you want chemically resistance, thermoset plastic also cross-linking is important. And elastomers which are resistant to fuel and oil. Effects of molecular weight and cross-linking upon modulus versus temperature curve. So this is temperature and here it is modulus ABC. So here you can see A is the low molecular weight polymer. Therefore, as the temperature increases, shear modulus decreases. B is the high molecular weight polymer. Same thing happening, temperature increasing, shear modulus decreasing. Cross-linked polymer. Here temperature increasing but shear modulus not decreasing that much as the previous two. So this is what you should know. Cross-linking during drying of oils paints provide solvent resistance, which permit the application of successive layer of paint. So cross-linking की वजह से drying of oil paints provide solvent resistance. So because of which permits the application of successive layers of paint. So solvent resistance will be there. Therefore, you can paint successive layers of paint. These are typical examples of practical improvements in chemical resistance that results from insolubilization by cross-linking. So all the mechanical, chemical and thermal properties and what is cross-linking is clear to you. So just read it, you will get it. It's not complicated, but read it. Remember this, the primary covalent homopolymer bonds are 1 to 2 angstrom in length and 60 to 100 kilocalories per mole in strength, and thus much more powerful than any of the lesser intermolecular bonding forces considered earlier. Like in the earlier section, we have considered hydrogen bonding, so that is not that powerful as this cross-linking, which is done by the covalent homopolymer bonds. And then the cross-linking are of three types: light cross-linking, heavy cross-linking, liable transient cross-linking. What are they? You should remember all of this. Okay, thank you.